So, Final Fantasy VI. What in the heck do I have to say about this game playing it in 2020? So if you would like an explanation as to why I'm playing through all these old Final Fantasy games, please click on the video that's going to pop up right here and at the end of this video. I will also put a link to it down in the description. So let's talk about it. Final Fantasy VI. How worth it is to play this game right now in 2021. If you, let's say you're a Final Fantasy fan, you've never played through this Final Fantasy game and you're like, hey, should I do it? Is it worth me actually playing through it, or should I just look up a video on what it's about? Well, that is why you are here today.
Good job.
So am I happy to have played through this game? Yes, of course I'm freaking happy. I love Final Fantasy and I want to be able to get to say that I've played all of them and know a little bit about the history of every single one of them. So let us begin by talking about the characters. Our main character, Terra Branford. So I put Terra in quotation marks as a main character because she is technically not the main character. Something really cool that they tried to do with this game, which I think they did a pretty good job at, is they tried making it so that you can have any character be the main character. Almost. But that is what makes this game so special. So before I talk about Terra, just know there are 14 playable characters in this game. 14!
Yes.
For a Final Fantasy game, I think this is the game that has the most characters to choose from that are playable. So that is something that makes this game so unique. Now, the reason why they did this is because they wanted to make this game very focused on story. Now, not all of them, but the majority have enough background to them so that you can really make the main character be anyone who you want. So while most people may think that Terra is the main character, really you can kind of make it whoever you want. Okay, so spoiler warnings ahead. If you want to skip over to the gameplay portion, here's the time link. Skip to this part of the video so you can just hear about the gameplay. So before we get into the main plot, let's give a quick brief overview of all the main characters. One other really quick thing to note about this next section. When I'm talking about these characters and I'm talking about this story, I'm talking to you all as if you have already played the game. Again, I'm going under the assumption that most of you have already played the game. If not, I'm going to say some things that y'all might be a little bit confused on, but it's okay. Terra Branford. I think her story is super cool, and she's in one of my favorite games ever. And she's in one of my favorite games ever. Boom. Dissida. She's actually the main reason why I wanted to play the game. I thought that this whole story was just going to be about her. And I am happy to say her story does not disappoint. Her being half Esper, half human, I think is super cool. Fun fact, them actually making her hair green in the game was important. They did it on purpose to try to make her seem different and special and show that she's just not a regular human. Now, while in the Dissida games, they do make her blonde. Her alternate costume, which is the only one that I used, was her with green hair. And it's the version that I like more. Which is kind of weird to say, because you think, hey, I mean, green hair is a little bit out there, but it just works for her character. So Terra, check mark. Awesome character. Love your story. Locke Cole. Locke is pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, I really liked him as a character too. He cares about other people, and honestly, his love story with Celeste, who we'll also throw in there, I really like how they went about it. Him losing this important person who he loved, and him having to let go of his old girl, and then kind of starting this love thing with this new girl. I was about it. I was about it. Celeste, the story of how she was actually siding with the evil guys, and then you find out, oh no, she's actually a traitor. Her being part of the bad guys teams and then joining us, I like that. Not to mention that some pretty important parts of the story, like where she's in a play. I will be honest, when I first played through that, I was kind of like, oh, like this is just kind of like a drag. But no, I liked it. I ended up thinking like that was really cool in terms of story development and how it connects to her as a character. Now, Setzer is dope. Hopefully I'm saying these names right. I'm trying my best. I had actually seen him before in Kingdom Hearts 2. So when I first saw him show up in this game, I was like, okay, dope. And I initially had no idea if he was a good guy or a bad guy. Like when I saw him in Kingdom Hearts 2. And then to find out he's actually a main character and a good guy in your team for Final Fantasy VI, I was pretty hyped. I was about it. I had him in my team for a good portion of the game just because I thought he was cool. Like, because I wanted him on my team. He has a pretty cool story too. The way that they connect his love story with the ship, this whole vibe that he gives off as like a gambler, how they incorporate that into the gameplay is actually really cool too. Okay, now let's talk about two, in my opinion, a little bit of weaker characters. Relm and Strago. They go hand in hand together. For me, their relationship was a little bit too similar to that of the relationship between Galuf and Krill in Final Fantasy V. Again, I'm trying to be objective as possible, but I guess I had seen that relationship before in a Final Fantasy game. But if I were to take that out, I do like their relationship. it's cute. Just not my favorite out of this unique cast of characters. You have the grandpa and the granddaughter, and I had kind of seen it been done before. Just in my opinion, one of the most quote-unquote, I guess, basic characters. But again, even Celeste, the character, which some would say like, oh come on, like you tell me you've never seen the story of like a traitor or of a bad person going good or something like that. I don't know, there's just something about Celeste and how much importance they give to her story and how big of a role she plays in the game. Actually, I really liked her. They did great with her. So Relm and Strago, not my top characters, but I still can appreciate them. Being objective, it's not bad to have them in the game. Go. So he joined a little bit too late in the game, but I like that he is a complete callback to Final Fantasy V with the whole mimic job class. So not much to say about him. In terms of story and character development, there's not enough there. Joined a little bit too late in the game for my liking, but still super cool that I included him having the mimic class where you can, you know, pull skills from different classes. Cyan is dope. I really like Cyan. Samurai sword, Bushido sword attacks, the story with his family and how they get zoinked the moment they killed the freaking wife and the kid. I was like,
I just killed a little kid on camera.
but I liked it, and I liked, you know, especially the part with the ghost train, where like you know, the train that's taking him to the underworld, or I don't even remember what they called it, but like the place where dead people go. Bro, it's hitting me hard when the kid's like, don't worry, Papa, I'm gonna take care of Mama. Oh my god! Like, I really like that part. Cyan was actually definitely, like, story-wise, one of my favorite characters. Now we have Edgar. Edgar's pretty dope. I mean, I liked him. Him being useful for me on the Battlefield 2 gameplay-wise, I think really affected it too. I don't know, but I like that he was like this ladies' man. He's kind of funny. He's still royalty though. So then you have Mog and Umaru. Quirky, cool characters. Umaru specifically is just a big ape. And Mog is really cute. I like that they're in the game. Almost want to say more than I do Relm and Strago. But I don't know. Relm and Strago do get their own little portion of the game where we have to go save Relm. And then getting Relm back is pretty cool. Especially in the second portion of the game when we have to go get Relm and we're in like, you know, the dungeon with all the paintings and stuff. That's pretty dope. So no, I still like Relm and Strago a little bit more. But Mog and Umaru are pretty dope secret optional characters. Again, they have almost zero story to them. But I do enjoy that they're in the game. Unlike in the last game where I thought Lena from Final Fantasy V was a little too basic for me, and I was like, there's almost nothing that I found unique about her. In this game, almost every single one of these 14 characters, I was like, yes, like I like that you're in there. I see how you're different, and I'm about it. Now, it is important, I think, to mention one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character in this game, Shadow. He's just so cool. He's so mysterious. He comes across as so strong. And I think the fact that he's kind of rare to come across and at that, you know, I was just kind of thinking like, when am I going to get him? When am I going to join my party? I actually kind of like looked it up in the head. I don't usually like to do this, but I did like kind of just like, when am I going to get Shadow? Because I remember being pretty, what I felt was pretty late into the game and being like, man, like this bro hasn't joined yet. So like, I always thought like you get all your party members, and then that's when, you know, the game really gets started. And I was like, I feel like I've put a couple hours in this game and Shadow still hasn't joined. Now this kind of leaks over into the gameplay mechanic, but the reason why this wasn't too big of a deal is because all of your characters level up even if they're in your party or not. So I guess that made it kind of cool. I was like, okay, you know, whenever Shadow joins, he's gonna be the same level as the rest of my group. So I guess it's nothing to worry about too much. But you actually can miss Shadow. Shadow can die.
Say what?
And 100%, if I wouldn't have looked up how to get Shadow, that man would have been zoinked. He would not have been a part of my party. I'm glad that I looked it up, and I got him, and he's dope.
So I have no idea how this happened, but I know that he talked about Sabine, Edgar's brother. I guess I must have lost the footage at some point while recording, but anywho. And I really just want to touch upon the fact that I really liked his relationship with Edgar, but not just that, I like that he was a monk, that he left royalty, and, you know, he was just kind of out doing his own thing, becoming super strong and stuff. Really liked him as a character.
So that pretty much covers all of the characters. Something that's important to touch upon with Terra's story, because she is the one that you start off with, right? But you find out that you're working for the evil people, and you're actually being mind controlled, so it's technically not even Terra's fault. So similar to Celeste, but not as bad, because I think with Terra, she was literally being mind controlled. While Celeste, with her being engineered into this Esper hybrid, I'm not exactly sure. She wasn't really being mind controlled, I don't think, but what made her really cool is that she had the power and the strength to say, the courage to be like, I am no longer gonna be part of the bad guys, and then she became a traitor and blah 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 blah. But anywho, again, just two important things to know with Terra specifically, because it's gonna get brought up later. She has no memory at the beginning of the game. She loses her memory after they take the thing off her head. She doesn't really know who she is exactly. She doesn't really know what's going on. number 2 to note, there is a very important part of the story where like she turns into this alternate form that she has, which I will put up on the screen right now, this form right here, and she gets super powerful, Super Saiyan mode. But in the process, she has really no control of herself and it could potentially hurt people who she cares about. Again, this happens in the main game. One last thing, and this is a big spoiler, but so again, cover your ears if you don't want to know the spoiler. The fact that they hint at Realm, I don't even know if it's a hint actually, it might just be what it is. But Realm being Shadow's daughter. My point with that little last fun fact is there's so much to say about these characters in the backstory that I really can't do it all in this one video. But for the most part, I've mentioned everything about these characters that again makes them special and unique to me. I do have to talk about Kefka, the villain. I like that he was a henchman, that he seemed like this funny little side character, almost like Gilgamesh, but not really. Quirky, annoying, you just kind of want him to die and get out of here, and you're like, all right, let's defeat this little guy so we can just get to the main boss. Him actually end up turning into the big main boss and killing and just getting rid of the supposed, you know, I don't remember what his name, like Gestalt, you know, the older guy who was in charge. I like that. I like that character. Not that it's never been done before, but I liked the way that they went about it in this game. They really made us hate this villain, and I like, not just was he annoying, but he truly was evil. But the fact that halfway through the game, you actually go against the quote-unquote big boss, and all of your characters, the good guys lose. I like that the good guys lose. Everyone kind of gets scattered. Celeste kind of wakes up, and now you're not Terra, you're Celeste. You know, she tries to go kill herself. The world has lost all hope, and Celeste feels like she's all alone. The only person who was her dad, kind of ish, Sid, who Sid pops up in almost every Final Fantasy game. Fun fact, in a different version, but just know that. And then the one person who was kind of taking care of her dies, so then she tries to kill herself. Man, that's just deep. And then you see the pigeon come back with Locke's little headband, and you're like, and then she's like, oh, the person who saved you, is he alive, little pigeon? The one person who would give her hope, who she was falling for, which is Locke. Just awesome. And again, just to comment, you know, if something else that was interesting is the fact that, you know, they chose to do this with Celeste, and I love that. Again, insinuating and pushing at the fact that there is no main character. You start off the game with Terra, but then now here we are in this crucial moment where, like, we could have, I guess, they could have incorporated so that we would have woken up as Terra, but no, you wake up as Celeste. But then what, are you gonna argue that she's the main character? No, that's the cool thing about it. I like that from there, it was now up to me to go off into this destroyed new world and find all of our friends that we had made along the way, restoring hope onto them and seeing what they did in that year, because it was a year went by. I liked it, it was cool, it was hype. That is pretty much all I have to say about the story though. I do like that all of these characters, and this again seeps into the gameplay, they're optional. Literally, the one thing that it says at the top of the screen after, you know, this whole thing happens is you can either go confront Kefka or go find your friends. It's dope. Very, very open world from there on out. It's almost zero linearity. Now let's get into the gameplay. Now let's get into the first thing that I think it fixed from Final Fantasy V. While it is not a completely linear game, I like that I felt like I had more of a sense of direction playing through this one, and I didn't feel completely lost. At the very top, I had hints constantly telling me where I might have to go, along with whenever I exited a town or something and the minimap popped up, I had a big, you know, giant red square telling me where the next place I'm supposed to go to. That was honestly enough. That was all I needed. That made this game, in terms of navigation and me not feeling like I'm wasting my time, a lot better. Because then again, now with this, I know where I'm supposed to go, and if I want to go venture out and explore different paths, I can, but I don't feel like that is the only way that I'm going to progress through the game, by exploring. So I like this part, the fact that if I want to go and be extra and look at all these different things, I can, but I don't have to progress. You know, I know where I'm supposed to go to continue up the story. Okay. Which plays into the whole thing, like, I get why, you know, there's a reason why games are changing, and now, you know, there isn't as much exploring, because they figure, oh, maybe not everyone likes the fact that they have to explore and figure things out on their own. So again, that's why I can't really give Final Fantasy V too much crap for that. But back to the focus on Final Fantasy VI.
Thanks a lot.
Another thing that I think they really just, I liked so much more about the gameplay. I felt like I had the versatility, collecting all of these different espers and being able to equip these espers onto any character that I want, and really, again, magic-wise, be able to turn any character into whatever I want. That was pretty cool. So what I did was I took all of my big boy hitters, attackers, and instantly tried to turn them into healers and white mages, while Terra and Celeste and other, you know, mages who have a higher magic stat, I turned them into just full-on beast attackers, you know, teaching them Amphyra and all these offensive, you know, black magic moves right away. But in terms of the aspect of progression, it did not take long to master some of these espers. I was grinding and I could see like myself like learning these new little moves, and it wasn't until long that I started to, you know, max out some of these espers and being like, okay, cool. Now that I maxed out this esper with this person, what changes should I make? What else should I do, you know? And it had that thing that I wanted where like, because it wasn't taking me too long to max them out, I actually at some point with my 4 main people that I had just literally maxed out every single esper so that they all had every magic possible, at least up until a certain point. So that is something that I did enjoy about this game a lot more than the last one. So yeah, gameplay wise, classic Final Fantasy though. Still has a little ATB thing making it so that you can't really just sit and think throughout these fights. I mean, you do, but there's a little bit of a pressure because, you know, you have to be quick about it because you have turns and time based and all that. Gameplay wise, espers is what makes this game unique. Man, there's such a big focus, not just story wise, but gameplay wise on the magic. Magic is where this game excels, and I like that it gives me enough versatility to make any of these characters whatever the heck I want. Really enjoy the gameplay in this game. And that actually covers it for the gameplay portion, and that's something that you'll notice. This video, the majority of it was me talking about the story, and that is because I think what the developers want to do with this game, make it a very story-driven game. And again, while story-wise, I don't think it's anything that's gonna really like completely like blow your mind. It is good, it is enjoyable, and I'm very glad that I played it. Okay, so I think that pretty much does it for my review as far as just like the main game. So should you play this game in 2021? I'll be 100% with you. If you are a Final Fantasy fan and you're doing it because you want to know the lore, you want to know the story behind these characters, yes, 100% you're gonna have a good time with this game. Would I recommend it to just any RPG lover out there? Maybe, yeah. I mean, I would say like, hey, this is kind of what the game is about. I enjoyed it. Give it a shot. But it's not like I'm gonna hunt them down and be like, you have to play this game. Because there are some games that I would do that with, but again, this one's good. It's solid. So hopefully that answers your question as to whether or not you should play this in 2021. So now let us get into the Dissida portion of this. If you're following my journey and you all saw that I am playing each main character's Dissida part after I beat their game, this isn't really something that I talked about when I was playing through Bart's story, because I didn't really find too big of a connection between the story that happens to him in Dissida and his main game. You know, that was complemented in other ways, like with his moves and stuff. But I found it really cool the way that they correlate the story that happens with her in Dissida and the story and her actual story. So remember how I said in the main game, she has no memory at the beginning, and there's a part where like, you know, she can't really control her powers and she's worried about hurting her friends. That almost exactly word for word happens in the Dissida version, and I think it's really cool. She wakes up and she has she's with Onion Knight from Final Fantasy 3. Still haven't played it, but I'm gonna. And yeah, she just has no memory of what's going on. So, you know, again, similar to what happens in the main game. And then as you play through, at some point you get separated from Onion Knight, and once again it happens where like she just kind of like starts to lose power. Of course, by Kefka, she's just viewed as a weapon, and this is also something that happens in the main game. You know, Terra is viewed as this magical being that has a lot of power, and they're just trying to figure out how can we use her as a weapon to take over the world. And Kefka also mentions this in the Dissida game. But I just thought it was super cool that, you know, you had that portion in Dissida where like she loses control a little bit, and you actually end up fighting a good character. I don't want to spoil it, but she ends up fighting a good character in that game. And then after they fight, you know, she's like, oh, like, thanks for bringing me back, you know, whatever. I'm sorry for fighting you. And he's like, nah, no problem, fam. I'm a cool guy. I'm a cool guy with a gigantic sword. But I don't know. Like, that was just cool. And that is why I wanted to do this. And this is what I was hoping that would happen. That because I played the older games, seeing these things in the newer games, I can now appreciate it so much more, and I see the connection between them. All in all, very happy with what I did. So okay, now it is time to get into the unboxing portion of this video. Oh my god! My collectible has not come in yet, so I have nothing to unbox right now. But due to the power of editing and video making, I am going to count to 3 and skip ahead a couple of days or weeks, and I'm going to have it in my hand. 3, 2, 1. Oh, hey, will you look at that? I don't know if my hair is even messier than last time. So we got the package, and this is why it took so freaking long to get here. I straight up got this son of a gun from Japan. And unfortunately, it didn't come in one of those pretty boxes like this one, but really it would have been the same exact box, honestly. Like, we're going for Terra right here. It would have been literally this box. It's okay, I don't need multiples of the same box. And the good thing is, this leads to an also kind of rather interesting unboxing. Only difference being, I don't really care about the box this time around. I just gotta make sure I don't hurt the merchandise. I'm gonna do this extra danger style. Extra hard style? Just cause I'm I'm not worried about breaking the box. What's the best way to tackle this thing? Because they really did put a butt ton of tape on it. Okay. Just kind of poking holes at it right now. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Did that do anything? No, it's just a paper. Okay, it's fine.
Okay, fine.
Ooh, look at go. Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Low key worried I
Jesus Christ.
tore something up in here. Okay, well this is pretty open. It does come with a box. What? Oh shoot! There is gonna be a double unboxing today. Damn! It did come. I was trying to see if it smelled different.
Smells nice.
We got some Japanese newspaper. I don't know why I smelled it. Wow. Okay. Well, this is gonna be a little bit more intense then. I'm gonna go yeet. Yep. First one wasn't too hard. Bruh, you know what I just realized? Wow, this is really well. This is brand freaking new. It's a lot better than the other box I had, actually. It hasn't been opened. So I really freaking hope this is Terra. Because this is about to suck if for some reason it ain't. Alright, for this, we do want to be careful. Okay. Okay. Shh. Shh. Spit on it. Oh well. Not our worst unboxing, but we definitely damaged it just a little bit. Okay. Let's pop this baby open. Just please be Terra, dude. Oh, okay, yes. It's Terra. That's all I cared about. So, last time y'all didn't get to see me build this thing, and you're not gonna get to see me build it now, but I'll show you the finished product. Dang! Okay, I'm gonna try not to look at her too much, because she does look pretty dope. I wonder when I'm gonna have to, like, resharpen that blade. If ever. I probably will at some point. Like, for sure. Is that, like, another translation thing? I thought she was Terra. That says Tina right there. I swear I thought it was Terra. Whoa. Whoa! I didn't get this last time. I guess this is what happens when you get like a brand new figurine. Jeez. Oh no. Okay, I'm not gonna say oh no, but we gotta use the sword. Okay. Stab. That's kind of fun actually. Stab. Just gotta make a hole in each one of these sections. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is kind of fun. This is also kind of dangerous, so I gotta... Dope. Okay, so now I got them holes there. We can just go open idiot open. Ooh, I'm not gonna look at her. I'm not gonna look at her. I'm gonna do my best to not look at her until this baby is fully constructed, because I wanna get the full experience. A little bit that I am seeing though, she seems pretty dope. Curious. Very curious. Let's see. I wonder what those are for. Huh. They came with these two little black things. I have no idea. The other one's super good. Alright. Let's build this. Okay, this is it. Now let's fully check her out. Wow. Right, I'm not gonna lie. She looks really freaking cool. Oh, wow, that's cool. I was worried that her face was gonna look a little bit derpy. And in some of the pictures, I was worried that her bangs would look bad. But no, like, she looks legit. She looks really good, actually. And she does not come as beat up as my Bart's figurine that I got. Because she's fully brand stankin' new. So that's cool. Yeah, that's dope. She looks good. She was really hard to build though. I was so worried I was gonna bust her arm, friggin' break her arm with how tiny the hole to put her hand in. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So here she is. Telling ya, she looks pretty freaking cool. I don't even mind that they went with the blonde. I don't even mind that they went with the blonde version of her. Because like I said in the video, I like her more with the green hair, but I think the green hair would have been a little much. And honestly, now that I'm seeing her in this figurine form, maybe the green hair would have been a little bit too much. So I get why they went with this design for Dissida. She looks dope. She looks really freaking dope. Now I can add her to my collection. The first two Final Fantasy games from Phase 1 that I've ever beaten, side by side, Bart's and Terra. Let's freaking go. The collection starts to grow.
Nice.
Alright everyone, well I know this was a long enough video as it is. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video and hopefully I was able to express myself properly. Thank you all so much for watching and do not forget to please drop down in the comment section and put what are your opinions of Final Fantasy VI. I love Final Fantasy, hopefully y'all do too. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join one of the most amazing YouTube families out here. I love you all and I will see you all next time. Wolfpack.